All right, hello Guild Wars 2 gamers, Muckluck here, and today for a new episode of I try out the Heal, Alacrity, Staff, AURAMANCY, Tempest. Yeah, don't say that 10 times fast. Okay, so what is this about? Recently, AURAMANCY became much more viable due to a recent patch, and you can use AURAMANCY as a viable way of still giving alacrity to your team. Elemental Bastion now reads heal allies that you grant an aura to. Grant Frost Aura to nearby allies when struck while below the health threshold, and there is also alacrity is there in the tooltip. So if you do something like, for example, Feel the Burn here also gives Fire Aura. If I just run over here and do it, boons. Oh my God, so many boons, right? And you notice that alacrity is there. So you can use what was, for me, it was previously only known as a PvP build, running around and doing auras and stuff like that onto your teammates. You can use that now as a PvE healing and buffing method, which also gives the coveted alacrity boon at the same time. Which, if I'm gonna be honest, it's a different flavor of Tempest PvE support. Tempest was already a fantastic PvE support in the trained hands, and now this is just a different way of doing it. So what was my source of information? I did my very best to learn from the Heal Alac Tempest staff guide that is on Snowcrows. I believe at the time of recording this video, it was the only guide that I saw on the common websites for Guild Wars 2 that was related to staff heal alacrity. There is also Dagger Warhorn heal alacrity build. Be honest, I chose the staff just because of personal preference. I enjoy the staff skills, and that's why I picked it. It is not going to be the best for every situation. There will be many situations where Dagger Warhorn is better, but I'll go ahead and go into this now. So how does this work? Using the training I got from them, the rotation is basically we start fire and we do a fire overload, and then we immediately go into earth and use eruption, which is a blast finisher. And then we go air and then give swiftness with 4. Go into water, use 2, which is another finisher. And then we're just waiting. We could do a healing rain while we wait, and then do overload water. And then 2-4 is another aura thing. Go earth, do a 2. That's another finisher. Go back to fire, do 2, and we start over. Okay? So to do that slower, overload fire is a lot of might, okay? Going to earth for just a second throws some boons on the team, and doing the 2, the fire overload would still be there if you do this quickly. That does a blast finisher on the fire that's still there, and that gives more might. We go into air for just a quick second, which gives some boons to the team, and we just tap 4, and then boom, that's swiftness. We go into water, and then we hit 2, which if the fire is still there, that's another aura, I believe. And then that is, and then after that is the overload water, which any of your overloads is a ton of boons, and overload water is a ton of healing. And then 2-4 is another aura on the team. You could do 5 if you want to while you're here, healing rain. And then back to earth again, 2, and the ice would still be here, and that would be another blast finisher. And then 2 fire again, and just throw the 2, and then you start over. Now, we're doing a lot of blast combos, and we have a relic to take advantage of that. Relic of Caracosa. Heal allies whenever you successfully combo a blast finisher. And that little rotation is a lot of blast finishers, which is lovely. On their guide, they recommend using a mixture of Harrier's gear with a couple of pieces of Magi's. Now, that gives you a whopping 16k health. Extremely fragile. Me being a scaredy cat, and also the fact that this build does very little damage. Like, just a couple of thousand damage per second, at least in my hands. I swapped some gear out for givers just to get some toughness, just to help survive some little mistakes. I'm just running the staff. Since Ellie cannot weapon swap in combat, I don't have another weapon here because if I started combat with the wrong weapon, you're locked into it for the rest of the fight. That's just something I chose to do. This is the build from their website. Now, the things that you want to have are Wash the Pain Away. This is an emergency heal you can use to heal the team no matter what element you're currently in. And Feel the Burn is your Fury upkeep time. It is more might, and it is an aura, so it's a whole bunch of boons because aura, and that hits the team. And because it's an aura, it will also give vigor, it'll also give regen, it'll also give alacrity. So like right when the fight starts, you hit Feel the Burn, and then you kind of hit it every time it lights up. So just keep that on cooldown for a lot of boon uptime. These 2 are flex slots. You can put whatever you want in these. So some common picks would be Aftershock, which is Aegis to your group if you are on a fight where you need that. And I have the Storm, which I have on the bar right now, which is stability to your group. Also, it's worth noting that Earth, if you double tap the 3 key, it gives stability to your party, 30-second cooldown, so you can use that if you need another source of stability in a weird situation. This skill here, the other flex slot, some more options are, I have Glyph of Renewal there currently, which is the combat res. You know, you can just wave your hand and revive someone that's really far away. It behaves a little differently depending on the element that you're in, but it is always a revive. You can also put Signet of Water in that slot, which is a long-range heal. Now, typically, if someone's that far away and they're in trouble, I feel like that's between them and God at that point, but you can have Signet of Water there for a very short cooldown, very large heal, only 20-second cooldown, and just a fat heal on the team, and it works no matter what element you're in. So that's really good as well. And those are the ones that I would commonly use. There are some others that I have not tried out. According to their website, Conjure Lightning Hammer, Conjure Frostbow, and Arcane Wave are all good for if you need additional break bar damage, additional CC. If you're just running this like, let me do this, like this is a setup I had. So the essential stuff, stability, and battle res. The main CC I had was Air 5, Air 3, which is like a push, and then Earth 4, which is this. And you can, I tested this on a golem with a CC bar, you can just drop these right on top of it. You know, for a player, you do this and they have to like be moving and across the line. Same thing with the lightning cage, they have to be like moving across it. But if you drop it on mobs with a CC bar, you can just plop it right on their head and it will work. They don't have to like move across it. So, you know, that's good. And then, you know, like I said, as an enjoyer of staff skills, I really like how when you're in water, Healing Rain is kind of like Druid Healing Spring, but you can throw it and it's also a much larger area. So it's healing and cleansing and just a massive area, regen as well. And then Geyser is healing and reviving. And then you also get to run the trait, where is it? Arcane Resurrection. Your guys is, when you start rezzing someone, it summons a Geyser that helps revive them. But then also this Geyser helps revive. So you could just run up to someone and do a water 3 and then start reviving. 2 Geysers burst up and they're just like, oh, and they love it so much they just get right back up. They like beach parties. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I didn't talk about the elite skill. They recommend the elemental. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't great at it. The elemental, it cannot be kept out 100% of the time. You would summon the water elemental, and if you summon the water elemental, which I'll go ahead and do a demonstration of, the button flips over and becomes a very fat heal with a slight delay, but you click it, there's a little delay, little, you know, 1 week shipping, and then fat heal and condition cleanse in an area. And then you can just use that every time it lights up. However, after the elemental times out, it then starts its cooldown. So once it dies, it's 40 seconds before you can go water and summon it again. So 1, make sure you're in water before you summon it. 2, you gotta summon it when you need it and not just keep it out the whole time, or else it might wear off and die and then can be unsummonable when you do need it. I, on my first time playing this build, had a hard time of gauging those moments. So after getting through multiple fights and never summoning it at the right moment, I swapped to Rebound, which Rebound is just a buff you put on your team, and it's like the next time they're going to die, they don't, as long as it's within 5 seconds. It's a block death for 5 seconds. So it's really nice at pugs. Like I used it once, I think, on Bone Skinner. It leaped into the air, and I'm like, I don't trust this team. And I hit Rebound, and it's a kind of thing you just dodge roll. But I was like, I don't trust this pug, and I just hit Rebound. And, you know, my whole group was fine. Maybe they would have been fine without it. We'll never know. But, you know, it's the kind of thing where I was just like, I'm just gonna make sure everybody survives this, which is really nice. So, you know, it's nice, it's niche, you have to know when to use it. Whereas, like, Druid Glyph of the Stars, you could be playing a little worse, and then you're like, oh gosh, I made a mistake, people are down, and then Glyph of the Stars just fixes the whole situation. This is a preventative measure. You use it beforehand. You don't want to use it late, because then it doesn't do anything. It just goes on cooldown and it's wasted. So that was basically it. A pretty simple rotation. You know, I demonstrated the whole thing pretty quickly. Even on their thing here, like, where is it? Rotation. Like, this is it. Like, it's my giant head. This is the whole rotation here. And there's just that repeating unless something weird happens. So it was very quick for even me, someone who is absolutely not an Ellie main, to learn. I wouldn't say that this is like a, you know, low intensity guide or anything like that. It was also interesting talking to so many Elementalist mains in chat. People are like, you overload water? I just go between, this build goes between overloading fire, overloading water, and doing things in between. And there are others I talk to that are like, oh, I overload fire and earth, and that way I save overload water for emergencies, and I do other things in between. So there's absolutely many ways ways to play it. There's not only one correct way. And I also mentioned that I was playing Staff because I'm fond of Healing Rain and Geyser and stuff like that. And there are other people that play Dagger Warhorn. So there's other ways to do it as well. Does this build have a stun break? Eye of the Storm, which I was running for stability, is a stun break. You could absolutely run it this. Again, there's 2 flex slots in this build, and you could put whatever there. So if you felt like you needed a stun break, you could run one. Eye of the Storm gives your group stability though, so that was my favorite. I think that's it. What are my final thoughts on this? Absolutely viable. Very easy to keep the boons up. So like here, just real quick here, and again, I'm new to this. It's like I run in here, I do this, we do that, and then we go Earth 2, Air 4, Fire this thing, and then we do that, and then in a few moments we do this guy here. I think I might have actually ended the fire overload early because alacrity wore off, so I made a slight mistake there. And then do fire and do this again, and do that again to get the fury back up, and then fire overload again. Boop, and then there's that, and there we go, just all those boons. Okay, so I made a little mistake during the demonstration there, but talking and doing it at the same time is a little rough for me right now. There's no muscle memory for this yet, but yeah, it is not difficult to keep all the boons up. And it's, again, I've said this on previous LE videos, you're kind of just doing a dance step. It's like you've got this sequence and you're just like going 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then something unexpected happens and you're just like, watch the pain away. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 renewal, battle res, and so it's like you've got a few buttons that you save them for when you need them, and then you've got other buttons that you're just doing a dance step with, and then you make little tweaks as you need to. So for some people, if you like having that type of gameplay, this would be perfect for. Absolutely viable as a non-Tempest main revisiting Tempest for the first time in months. This doesn't feel that different from the old one. It does not feel that different from the old one. The old Tempest, which wasn't using Auramancy, you hit buttons, you did a dance step, you healed and buffed your team. Now you hit buttons, you do a dance step, you aura buff and heal your team, and the auras also buff and heal. So it's very much just like a different flavor of ice cream that is also good. That's it. And that was my experience with trying the Heal, Alac, Staff, Auramancy Tempest. But what do you guys think? If any of you are, Tempest mains or Auramancer mains, did I fail to mention any of the weaknesses, any of the strengths? Throw it in the comment section down below. That's totally fine. Call me out on it, and I'll fight you there.